Hey guys, it's Tarek with FPV Professor, and today we're getting ready to start you on your Martian2-140 plug-and-pilot kit. So what we're going to do is what you see in front of you right now is a breakdown of the kit and most of the materials you should have. There may be some variations between what I have here and what you have, but for the most part, everything should look identical. And all I've done is take it out of the packaging so I can explain to you what parts we have and what they're going to be used for. And then after that, we're going to end this video and go straight into building the frame so you can see exactly how that's going to be done. So let's start on the left here. What we have here, these are going to be your motors. These are custom motors made for our kits, and they are terminated with what we call a bullet connector here. These bullet connectors will connect into the flight controller, which is sitting over here, and these red, yellow, and black colored bullet connectors on this side. So you have 4 of these motors right here, and I believe this is going to be a 1408 2800 kV. Yours may be a different kV. I don't know, depending on the kits that we're doing for your particular use. But this one here is a 1408 2800 kV, and in our tutorials and online tutorials, you can find out more about what these motors mean, what these numbers mean exactly. These are going to be, there's going to be 4 of these here, and as you can see right here, next to those are going to be the 16 screws that we're going to use to put those motors into the arms here. All right, make sure to set these aside and be careful. As you can see when I do this, the motors are magnetic and they will pick up these screws, so try to keep them separated if at all possible and make sure they don't get mixed together. As soon as I'm done with this one, I'm going to put these back in a bag. This is the tape that we're going to use. It's a long piece of tape that you will cut into quarters. So basically you'll bend it in half, and then you'll bend that in half and crease it, and wherever the crease is you will cut with the scissors, and that's what you're going to use to wrap the wires around the arms here to secure them in place. So I'm going to set that aside as well. I'll put that over here, and I'm going to put the motors in here as well so we can get them out of the way for the time being. And I will get a plastic bag to put the screws in here shortly. For right now, I'm just going to use a magnet to pick them up and get them off the table. There we go. All right, the next thing we've got over here is going to be your FPV camera. It's got a cover on it just like that. And on this side is going to be the plug, and even though there are 4 pins in this plug, we're only going to use the 3, and the 3 are going to be the 5-volt ground, or the 5-volt, the ground, and the video. So you can have that set aside for right now. We're going to put that aside. The next piece we have here is your VTX. This is your video transmitter. The camera is actually going to send the signal to the flight controller. The flight controller is going to then send it back out through the video transmitter, and that's how you're going to see in your goggles if you're flying with FPV. We'll set that aside as well. These are the 2 3mm screws that we're going to be using to attach the camera to the side plates of your frame right here. So we'll set those screws aside over there. All right. The next thing we have, the obvious thing here, is going to be the flight controller. So this is what the plug-and-pilot is all about. We have pre-soldered everything for you, giving you all the connections. This connection is going to be for your camera. This connection is going to be for your VTX. These are going to be for the bullet connectors on your motors. This connection is going to be for your receiver, which is right here. And we'll go over all of this in more detail when we get to that particular module. And then this is your battery connection right here. This is an XT30 connection, and you can see the number XT30 written right here. And this will actually plug into your drone battery. We're going to take this and set this aside as well. For right now, we won't be using that. And finally, this is your receiver, and you may have a different receiver than this one, but they're all going to be wired with 3 wires, and they're all going to plug directly in to this receiver connection here. And when we get to that module, we'll show you how to do that as well. So let's set these aside. Let's set this aside. And last but not least, we have your Martian2-140 frame. So the 140, for example, references the distance between one motor to the other cross corner, right? So if we take a ruler here, you're going to be roughly 143 millimeters. Or if you look at this like this, it'll be 14 centimeters. So right now we're looking at about 14.3 centimeters or 143 millimeters. That's where this frame comes in as a 140 style. And I will show you the thickness of the carbon fiber. We'll use our caliper for this one. So we are looking at about a 3 millimeter thick carbon fiber frame, and this is a unibody construction. So you have constructions where they're modular, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is a modular frame right here where all the screws come out and then the arms can be removed. So for example, if I take this one here, get the right screwdriver, and I take this out, you can actually take the entire frame apart and the arms will come off. Pros and cons to each one of these. The pros are for these that if you break an arm, you can just replace the arm, whereas on a unibody like this one, that's not the case. On the flip side, unibodies are more stable and fly better, and so therefore you kind of give up. It's a toss-up there between the two. But this is your frame here, 3 millimeter thick Martian2-140. These are going to be your landing pads. So these will go underneath the frame so that when you put it on the ground, it sits softly and doesn't crack. This is the top plate. This will go just like this right here, and it'll actually be raised. It'll be raised with these standoffs. It'll sit right here like this, and we'll do an assembly in just a second. These are your camera mounts, which will go in the front right here. I'll show you how to do that. And this is an optional battery cover plate. We are going to be flying this from the top and not the bottom. This would be if you're using a bottom mount battery, but we're going to mount it from the top. So most likely you won't use this, but you can just keep it in case you decide to. And other than that, I believe the other thing that you have will be the Velcro strap, and this is what we're going to use to tighten your battery down to the top plate. That's about it. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to stop the video right now, and we're going to get ready to build this frame on part 2, and we will be right back.